Hi, welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be reading poetry I wrote about psychosis. This includes things like hallucinations, delusions, false perceptions, schizophrenia even, which is really funny because this is my second video on this channel. So that's really up close and personal, but you know, I want to share my stuff, so I gotta share my stuff. And I did make my bed for this video, so your gratitude is... This part is written from a character named Sunday, which, by the way, is the cutest fucking name ever, and I should get credit for that. Joking. His name is Sunday, and he is a character who experiences, like, severe psychosis, but for him, he's looking back on it, and it's like, yeah, it wasn't real. It wasn't real that I thought, like, I was Jesus or whatever. But it was kind of fucking fun. Like, I did feel good when I was feeling and believing those things. And so he's kind of reflecting and being like, well, is it really bad if I just, like, kind of let myself go back to it? Yeah. And when I title the poems, I'll be like, title and then / the character's name. So it's Golden Ignorance / Sunday. I am not seeing things for what they really are, and I don't know that. I succumb to the honey of delusion, and I arrive at heaven's gate. I follow every divinely strange urge. You might look at me and see someone who is so painfully schizophrenic, consumed in unreality, and I don't know that. I am a yellow being made from parts of the sun. I am one with the sky. I am divine. And I don't know any differently. I paint strange designs on my face. I am generally too unsettling to be around. I'm a bit odd to look at because I talk in strange ways, and I am in bliss. I am laying on a lily pad floating through the lake under a golden sun. I am writing poetry that has been kissed by the moon. The entire universe is cupped within my hands, and it is unable to be captured in all its beauty. It's just too perfect. You look at me and your stomach hurts because you think I am sick. That my life is a sad, theatrical story that doesn't really mean anything. And maybe I am sick, but I don't know that. I love this one. Honestly, I think this one is so fucking good. Like, I'm not even gonna... Okay. I really, really, really like this one. I, like, don't want to be like, oh my god, I'm so good. But this is one of my best things. So, this one is called Painted Face Pretending by my character Theo. And it's kind of about him being like, oh, I am schizophrenic. And I do have a problem with psychosis. And he knows this, but he doesn't want anyone to know, which, spoiler alert, probably never works for anyone. But anyways, he doesn't want people to know, so he's kind of camouflaging and masking and, like, trying to hide himself, which I think a lot, probably everyone relates to at least one point in their life. But anyways, Painted Face Pretending. You always wanted to be someone people loved, and for a long time you were. You performed stand-up comedy when you sat at lunch with your friends. You were riveting at the dinner table. You could make just about anybody laugh. You were sunny. You did not let any negativity seep into you. You wore that. When those you love came to you aching, you knew how to hold them. You were a good listener because you realized early on rarely anyone is asking for advice. When you got sick, then you got sick. But you, Theo, could not be sick. Because Theo doesn't behave like that. Theo never gets sick. You knew you were ill. You've seen this in others before. It's not hard to recognize the anhedonia and distant hallucinations. But Theo doesn't get sick. So you put duct tape over your wounds when you got dressed in the morning. You arranged your face to look like Theo's would, and you learned 100 different ways to paint over this. You were subhuman and pretending to be a part of the world, And maybe for a little while, you could be part of the world. You went bowling with your friends despite the voices. You slept over at their house even when the shadow people were watching over you. Being in the world helped you. When you arrived home and you peeled off your face, you were horrified every time. You somehow always found yourself shaking, crying, curled up into nothing, talking to no one. You could play pretend that you were a part of this world, and maybe sometimes you could be, but how long can you mend yourself? That was really emo. So this is written from the perspective of a character named Rowan, and he's talking about how he kind of knew someone with schizophrenia, and he watched their symptoms and researched their symptoms, thinking that if he ever, started to have them, then he would know because he read about it on WebMD. And he knew so much about it. He listened to like whatever fucking lecture about it, so clearly he'd be able to like stand in the way of it. Which also, I don't think that's how that works, by the way. Anyways. Alak / Rowan. I watched the storyline run through him, knowing it would flood me in a similar fashion. I tried to prepare myself because I wasn't going to be like him. I knew better, right? I read wordy books and listened to audio tapes of people talking about where it all went wrong. The story never tells itself in the way one might think it would. The story has details I only knew when I had lived them. The story has words where words do not exist, underlying themes, and aching backstories that are far more potent than I once believed they would be. I believed it would be organized and concrete, that one day something would be different, but before the rainstorm comes the drizzle. I didn't want to do things I loved doing because they didn't feel right anymore. You looked at me with a strange look on your face because the way I spoke was mildly senseless. I lay awake hearing a soft hissing that wasn't there last night. I spent so long thinking I would know when the world I knew had changed, but it was so deafeningly easy for it to remain untouched and unnoticed. I forgot I wasn't supposed to be like him. I forgot I was trying to be sane. I forgot these things. These are signs that the world I am in is about to collapse inward. I studied and read and learned and researched, and nothing could have prepared me. That's it. Hope you enjoyed.